Imagine your HOA going from $350 to $625 overnight.
And the board decided to increase our fees by 55%.
$2,000 a month for an HOA fee for a condo.
In 2 years, you know what my HOA dues are? $708 a month.
We got 5 categories, and that last one is a secret. But the first one is amenities. Let's get into it.
And another thing, nothing pissed me off more than a pool that's closed and it's hot outside. What the f am I paying for?
I don't need valet trash. I can take my trash outside on my own. Resort style pool. I don't really care at all. The community places and the fees and stuff, I'm never gonna hang out there. So please, miss me. Like $100+ worth of nonsense that you're tacking on that I don't really need. Like a little pest control for sure. A little package protection, a little storage.
So if I'm choosing not to use the amenities, why am I paying for them? Can't y'all track it by fob? I don't use this shit. I don't use that pool. I don't use that car center. Y'all advertised a pet park to me when I first got in this. Ain't no pet park. I don't use the gym, so why the frick am I paying for it? That ain't luxury, bitch. Luxury is having the option to opt in or out.
Yeah, that's how they get you. They charge you all that money for them amenities. And they like, hey, man, at least we got golf. At least we got a pool. And you don't even use it. Half the time it's broke. Okay? Same for apartments. And I know it's the same for them condos. You're paying all that money. They want you to pay more for it. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and get into the next category. Because I want to see what's going on. I know you want to see. Let's do it. Everything broke. Please fix it.
Which one of us decided that paying $700 on top of your mortgage for a condo maintenance fee was normal? Like, buddy, I'm already paying a mortgage. Why am I paying half of my mortgage in maintenance fees on top of the mortgage? Yes, I know. The condo needs to be maintained. If you had a house, you'd be spending the same amount of money, except it would be in one big chunk, not in little chunks every month. You take the entirety of condo maintenance fees for a new build and then compare it to a new build detached home, you know that that home is not going to need something fixed for a while, 5-10 years at least. It's not like the roof's gonna fall off. Meanwhile, with your condo fees, every single year they're going to get more and more expensive, versus you save that same money, invest it into stocks or something, and instead when you actually need that money, you've at least profited off that money. So as opposed to paying more in maintenance fees each year, you could be earning more in investments. Tell me I'm wrong.
Let's talk about condo maintenance fees in brand new buildings. The condo maintenance fee that you were promised when you purchased it from the builder were about 70 cents a square foot, about 7 years ago. That maintenance fee today, when you're moving into a brand new building, you may be paying it. And what's happening in the first year is the builder is running the building in the interim occupancy phase just after registration, but something important happens during the first year into the second year, and that's called turnover. Before turnover in the province of Ontario, the builders are responsible for the budgeting deficit. So the deficit is basically what it costs to run the building, what's being collected by the maintenance fees of all the unit owners. The difference, the builder has to pay. Something happens called turnover. When turnover happens, the builder says, here you go. The building is now yours, board of directors that you've been elected. You can manage the building as you like, and now you're financially responsible to run your building. I'm telling you right now, maintenance fees in Toronto, you're looking at 80 to 90 cents a square foot for very well-run buildings that are under 10 years. I rarely find buildings over 15, 20 years old where maintenance fees are less than $1 a square foot. A warning sign, if the maintenance fees are over $1.10, $1.20 a square foot, that building has some serious financial obligations, or they're catching up on some major deficits on reserve funds. Reserve funds are these savings accounts to deal with capital expenditures like roofs, windows, underground parking, balconies, and future.
See, now that's just too much going on, man. This next clip, she gonna give us a little education. Let's see what she talking about.
Everybody hates them, but what exactly do they cover? When you buy a condo, you will no doubt have monthly maintenance fees, but the amount of those monthly fees is going to vary depending on the property. You typically will see higher maintenance fees in smaller, more boutique buildings, and that's simply because there are less unit owners to amortize the costs amongst. There will also be higher maintenance fees in older buildings because there is more money needed to upkeep the building. There will also be higher maintenance fees in buildings that include all utilities and higher maintenance fees in buildings that have a lot of great amenities. So other than the building amenities, what do maintenance fees cover? As mentioned, in some buildings, some or all of the utilities will be included in the maintenance fees. They also cover things like maintenance of the underground garage, if there is one, and that can be quite expensive. It covers the building insurance, things like garbage removal. It also covers the cost of the management company. Another thing that is included is the maintenance of the grounds. So most condo buildings have some sort of landscaping that's happening in and around the building, and that costs money to upkeep. Another important part of your maintenance fees is every month a portion of what you pay is put aside in the building's reserve fund. The reserve fund is the pool of money that is used to cover large repairs that are needed in the building. Every condo property is required to do what's called a reserve fund study every 3 years. And this is when engineers will come in and they'll assess the situation and decide what kind of repairs and maintenance are going to be needed in the near future. So the building needs to ensure that the appropriate amount of funds are being deducted from each owner's maintenance fees every month to go into this pool of money. When you're looking to buy a condo, it's really important to see what kind of money they have in their reserve fund and ensure it is enough. So yeah, every building's a little bit different as far as what exactly is included in the maintenance fees, but this is a good sort of summary of what you can expect your money is going towards.
I'm paying all this money for insurance. I hope y'all can fix it. I ain't got time for this.
Insurance. We all know insurance be kind of scam-like. We about to see the insurance costs of these HOAs and why they keep going up on a Tuesday. Hey, got you. I don't know if y'all know about that song, man. I looked at my analytics. I don't know if y'all know, but let's look at this. Let's get right into it, man.
If you're a condominium owner, you really need to listen to this. Get your insurance policy checked. Many of you who own condominiums don't have the right types of insurance inside your policy, and it doesn't really cover anything. You have to, yesterday I saw something for a condo where somebody had $20,000 worth of coverage. Again, this is the second time in a month. They have more than $20,000 of dishes, okay? Let alone that's going to be enough to cover anything if they ever have a major loss. Go back to your agent and say, listen, explain this to me. How come, when they say you have $20,000 worth of coverage for personal property, go, what's that? Because it's not enough. You need to get more. You have this amount of coverage for your inside. Well, I just redid my kitchen. It cost me $35,000. You said I had $20,000 worth of coverage. It's not enough. You need more coverage. The insurance company's just not going to give you extra money because you have new stuff in your place. InsuranceClaimDoc.com. If you go to my website and you click on Insurance Double Check, the first option is Review My Policy. I can do that for you, even though I'm not going to sell you anything. But I've been an adjuster for 29 years, and I know what you should have and what you shouldn't have, especially in some of these coastal states where the insurance companies are just literally the R word people, and they're paying lots of money for this. InsuranceClaimDoc.com. If you got questions, and you will have questions, and you should have questions, go to my website, find out the proper information.
This is one of the most commonly screwed up parts of personal insurance, and we are talking about condo insurance. Here's where the problem starts. A lot of people, lenders, even some insurance agents will use the phrase, is this walls in or is it walls out coverage? And it is a very generalized shorthand to describe, does the condo unit owner need to provide coverage for the building because they're responsible for it, or not because it's only walls in? The problem with that's not close enough. The unit boundaries are defined often by the bylaws or CC&Rs, and sometimes those described unit boundaries include a lot more stuff. For example, one of our clients, they were purchasing a condo, so we asked to review the unit boundaries and found that not only did they also need to cover the drywall, the cabinets, and the flooring, they also were required to cover the carport where their car would park outside, which meant this condo policy, even though it was walls in, had a lot more building coverage than the client expected at first. Sometimes people will point to random things, like for instance, oh, the condo has a master policy. It shows that there's building coverage. Great, but that doesn't tell you where that coverage stops. Or they'll look at the county assessor and say, well, it says it's a condo. That means that there shouldn't need to be building coverage. That's not what that's for. This is why you need an insurance agent that's going to get a little bit more into the details with you to make sure that the coverage actually is designed to work and protect you exactly as you'd expect. Because wouldn't it be terrible if there was a small fire, a little bit of water damage in your condo unit, and you find out that you have to pay to repair all the drywall yourself, the cabinets yourself, the flooring yourself, and you really thought that your insurance policy was going to work for you, but someone said walls in and they didn't ask a second thing after that.
Ain't that how the grown folks do it from down south? Listen, I need for you to pull out your homeowner condo insurance policies, and I need for you to look at your deductibles on those policies. If you are in the state of Missouri and the state of Illinois and your deductible is over $5,000, because some of y'all, they are, I need for you to DM me the word home or put it in the comments, right? So that way, I really do have to give praise to my family for teaching me how to cook. My mama, my daddy, my grandparents, my aunts, and my uncles, yes, Lord, And put the word home in the comment section or DM me home, and then let's schedule a time to talk about your home condo insurance, and let's see what we can do to try to help you to reduce the size of your deductible, okay? With that being said, remember to tag somebody else that you know that needs to review their home condo insurance as well. Peace, love, and chicken grease.
Sir, all that eating and stuff, talking about deductible, you're gonna be a deductible. I'm finna deduct you from my video. Look, my headphones done got deducted from my head, man. Look, I ain't got time for this, brother. Look, if my insurance, if I had a condo, my home insurance was that high, just for you smacking in my ear, I don't want to work with you. I'm gonna just pay for it. I'm gonna just take the L and pay for it, man. But let's get into the next category, because he done pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie to you. Condos got HOAs? Oh, hell no.
As someone who bought a condo in 2022 and regrets it, let me tell you about the things they don't warn you about when buying a condo. You think you're buying an affordable home with a low maintenance lifestyle, right? The cute pool, the landscaping, all of that. But what they don't warn you about is the HOA and how it can literally destroy the value of your home. And if you have a bad HOA like I did, you have absolutely no control of the fees, no ability to know where the money is going, these question marks of what happened with spending, and if they're really bad, they'll make your complex unwarrantable, which makes it essentially unsellable. And when your condo is unsellable and the fees are going up and up, the value of your property crashes.
I hate HOAs. I'm so pissed off. I'm an owner in a condo, and the board decided to increase our fees by 55% for the year. And so no notice, it's just here it is, and you also owe us more money because of last month.
Bro, that's so wild to me, man. How the hell y'all got condos and this HOA? And this next clip, you won't believe how much her HOA fees is. Look at this.
$2,000 a month for an HOA fee for a condo is like taking out a second mortgage to have shared walls. I've seen some complexes go from $200 a month to over $1,000 a month in just a couple of years. So who's buying into these? Probably people who don't realize how quickly an HOA can drain you.
Do you want to know what's sad? In a failing condo complex of over 400 units, less than 10 homeowners could be bothered to even show up to the HOA meetings. That's what happens when you live in a condo complex that's majority investor owned and no one gives a shit about the problems and no one wants to give any of their time to help solve them. They raised the HOA fees 20% again. They're more than double what they were 3 years ago. Now, trust me, I'm aware that it's a little too late for me and my situation. My fate has pretty much been sealed with what's happening with my unit. And for those of you who started following me in the beginning, you know what I'm talking about. And even though my story is not going to have a happy ending in this complex, I'm still showing up to the meetings and I'm still making noise. I still want to be involved with what's going on and I still want to guide people to make the right decisions. But no one gives a shit. No one wants to go to the meetings. No one wants to vote on what the HOA dues should be. And this is just A spiraling cycle of badness. I want to thank you all who've been following me for my condo journey. I'm sorry I had to take down my old videos. I promise I'm going to be giving you all the updates as soon as I can. This is just kind of where I'm at right now.
And this is the last category. It's a secret, but we gonna get right into it, man.
Look out for special assessments when looking at condos and townhouses. Most people know that there's an HOA and there's HOA dues when owning a condo or townhouse. And then they assume that monthly payment will take care of all the maintenance. And for the most part, it can, and it does. But every once in a while, there's big projects that need to happen in a condo complex or a townhouse. Sometimes the entire complex needs to get repainted. Maybe there needs to be foundation work. They're not going to wipe out that HOA reserve to take care of these big ticket items. In some cases, the HOA will elect to do a special assessment. Basically, they're going to pass on that one-time fee to all the residents. So let's just say it's going to cost $100,000 to paint the entire complex. They don't want to deplete the HOA reserves. They're just going to split that $100,000 paint bill to all the residents. So it could be like a $2,000 tab, whatever the case, obviously divided by how many units are in that complex. So make sure to look out for any upcoming special assessments. If you want a list of things to look for when you're shopping for a condo or a townhome, send me a DM. I'll send you a text.
You love a condo, but then the HOA announces a $30,000 special assessment per unit for repairs. What do? Special assessments are huge red flags if you don't plan ahead. They're basically one-time charges to cover major building costs like new roofs, plumbing, or seismic retrofits. As a buyer, you need to know how this affects your monthly payment, your resale value, and your financing. Always review the HOA documents and budgets before you close. Otherwise, that affordable condo can turn into a money pit. I'm curious, have you ever been hit with an unexpected HOA fee or special assessment, and how did you handle it? Share with me in the comments below. Follow me for more tips and insight on the local market.
A condo owner's 2 least favorite words: special assessment. Well, there are definitely worse things that could happen than a special assessment, but they are definitely 2 words that condo owners do not like to hear. I posted a video a couple of days ago about my clients who offered on a condo townhouse, and then we found out when we got the status certificate, which is the document that has all of the financial information and really just all information about the condo itself. The status certificate said that there were going to be $1.3 million worth of special assessments, 3 separate assessments over the next few years. So what does that mean? A special assessment is when the condo board needs money for something, whether it is some sort of emergency repair that happened and they weren't anticipating, therefore there wasn't enough money in the reserve fund, or perhaps a reserve fund study has found that the reserve fund is very low and they need to increase funds and they need to do it quickly. There are tons of other reasons for special assessments as well. In this case, it was a combination of an emergency water issue plus anticipated repairs. And to determine how much you, as an individual owner, would pay is dependent on the number of shares that you have in the condo corporation, which is essentially equivalent to the size of your unit. So not all owners will pay an equal amount. Someone with a larger unit would pay more than someone with a smaller unit. Now, if you're someone who's looking to buy a condo, this is something that you would be looking for when you are doing your status certificate review. And I really hope that you've got a condition in there for it. I also will often put in the agreement when I'm representing a buyer that if any special assessments come up before closing, the seller would be responsible for paying that total amount. Toronto condo owners are facing a massive $70,000 special assessment. A special assessment is where a condo board will go to all of the condo owners and ask them for a lump sum of money to help cover a major repair, sometimes things like balconies, roof, parking garage. This will often happen if they don't have enough money in their reserve fund, which is like their savings account, to cover the cost of the expenses, or the cost would dip too far into the reserve fund, and so they want to get some of the funds from the owners as well. In this case, owners received notice from the property management company saying that a possible repair to the parking garage would require a $7 million loan or a special assessment of $70,000 each for about 100 unit owners. Supposedly, an engineering company went in and advised the condo board that potential water penetration is causing a serious structural risk. Obviously, this is not a small amount of money, and as the title said, no one just has $70,000 laying around, at least not most people. And so obviously this is a huge shock and very upsetting to the owners in this condo building. So it seems as though the upset with the owners has caused the condo board to delay the vote to allow for more time for people to weigh their options and kind of figure things out. This is why it is so important if you are buying a condo to have the status certificate reviewed by a lawyer where they can assess the financial health of the building and see if there are any potential special assessments coming up. Because if a building has a mess of a financial situation, say their maintenance fees have been low for years, they have no money in the reserve fund, and there might be a big repair coming up, that means you might have a big bill coming. So it's really good as a buyer to make sure you do your due diligence and ensure that you are informed on potential issues you might be facing down the line if you were to purchase a unit in that condo building. As an owner, there is not a whole lot you can do if a special assessment is levied, and this can be a huge issue for people who don't have large lump sums of cash. This happened a couple years back in a condo building on Jane, where I think the owners were asked to pay $25,000 within 2 weeks, and it was devastating because a lot of owners in the building were either retired or low income and could not afford to pay that $25,000 special assessment. And if you can't pay, usually the condo board will take possession of your unit and sell it so they can cover your portion of the special assessment.
Yeah, so special assessment is basically a surprise bill. Basically, who likes surprise bills? Me, nobody. Okay, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all know anybody going through this nonsense? Drop it down in the comments. Again, it's been Josh from Talk to Him, boy, and I just talked to you, boy. I'm out.